2005, the PayNet Group began PesaPoint, the brand name for a third-party ATM network. Today it is a financial network, much bigger than just a third-party ATM. Bernard Matthewman, the CEO, is now with me. You began as this third-party ATM network, but now you're a financial network. You've morphed into this much bigger thing.
Yeah, we are. I think, from our perspective, as you say, we started off by providing a service, and I think a service that was required, which is touch points for people to actually access their cash. Customers looking for more convenience and more services. So what was just an ATM network is now spanning across many other banks' ATMs. We're sort of joining them together under one brand. You'll see PesaPoint all over the place now. I think we're in nearly 1,000 locations.
1,000 locations for your ATMs?
For our ATMs. And then we have them again at PesaPoint in outlets, retail outlets. So again, you can get cash out and get your transactions there as well. And there's hundreds more of those, I think 300 now that we have live. So the footprint is really spread. And out the back end, it's not just cash withdrawal anymore. I think that was the original sweet spot.
But this has changed significantly. The ATM is not just where you go to withdraw your money anymore. Mobile commerce and banking are now converging at this little box we call the ATM.
Yeah, mobile commerce has been obviously a huge driver in this marketplace, and I think we were the first to really recognize the impact of M-Pesa, that it's not a closed loop system, that the real effectiveness of M-Pesa and Airtel Money and the others is really integrating that into all parts of the environment. So, we integrated early, and as you say, so mobile commerce, we have the unique situation where you walk up to an ATM with a mobile phone and money comes out.
Perhaps Kenya is the only place in the world where that happens.
Yeah, it's so we're again innovating, but and beyond that now, so paying your bills, prepaid airtime, prepaid electricity is just about to be launched. So we have a lot now that we integrate back into, if you like, and I think what was a third-party network, as you say, now becomes a sort of hub, and through that we are able to offer a wide range of services down different channels.
The interesting thing about your model is that you've almost been able to get banks to speak to each other. Banks are using their ATMs, your ATMs specifically, to raise their non-interest income.
Absolutely, and I think that's where an independent like us really plays a role, because banks, I think, have got expensive infrastructure out there, and there is definitely a sense now, as the markets I think are not so easy for banks to just generate those interest-based profits, as you said. So I think a focal point really has been non-interest income, how to grow that side of the banking industry and really make that a third leg, if you like, of income. And so, to do that, to make the most of their infrastructure, it makes sense to integrate with one another. But, PesaPoint has made it easy, because otherwise you'd have banks sort of trying to show each other's brands at each other's locations. Would be very difficult to understand if you saw a brand of one bank sitting at the ATM of another. But being the sort of mutual hub, PesaPoint, now where you see PesaPoint and your bank is a part of PesaPoint, then you can use that ATM or point of sale device.
With this kind of exponential growth comes some challenges, one of which has become fraud, a real concern in the banking industry in Kenya. What are the fraud levels like in the country, and how are you dealing with that?
Do you know, I think fraud levels have been manageable in the past, but here's the problem, is that the world is adopting this EMV chip technology on cards, and that just makes card transactions that much more secure. And so as the rest of the world adopts this standard, the sort of easy pickings, if you like, the low-hanging fruit for the fraudster is narrowing. And so we're already seeing the sort of focus of some of these international gangs coming into East Africa and saying some of these markets now, they see as easy picking markets. And so I think it's very important that we take that threat, an impending threat, before it really does blow out of proportion.
In Kenya and most of East Africa, we still use these old-fashioned mag stripe cards, as you call them. How are these different from this chip and pin technology cards that are used in more developed parts of the world?
Yeah, well, it's just about security, really, and the card is there to say here's a unique identifier. But of course, that mag stripe, as you said, was compromised quite a long time ago, and most people will have come across the concept of skimming, where you can swipe those details and actually take them off the card and recreate a card that looks like your card to an ATM or point of sale. The chip is a small computer. And in that, it encrypts data and holds that inside the card, which makes it that much more difficult to copy or to take that information away and use it as a fraudster. So it's just a step up, if you like, in terms of security, but an essential one.
As the PayNet Group and PesaPoint specifically, you're doing some regional work as well in Rwanda and in Tanzania, but also in Uganda. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I think we have a vision in terms of being able to provide our services across the region. We already, as you say, have customers in Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. And I think that, the opportunity to bring together that infrastructure the way we've done it here in Kenya still exists. PesaPoint, I think you're going to see wider than just Kenya, and I think there's a good opportunity for that. But at the moment, really, the key things that we're doing is providing our key customers, which are banks and mobile commerce and mobile network providers, the services that they need to operate in those marketplaces.
What is the future of this business? Where is it going?
Obviously, it's all about integration as far as I can see. I think that the player-to-loan concepts have really disappeared entirely. And so it's about creating scale through integration. And so players like us, and really if you look at what we do, we spend our days really linking things together, linking customers to different types of services, taking somebody like a prepaid electricity provider and making that service available across many, many different channels. And I think that that's where the world is going, so that where we used to be so familiar to say, well, I know I had to go here to do this and go here to do this. Now, either off your phone or at an ATM or at a point of sale or on the internet, you're going to find more and more services all in one place. And I think that's where the world's going. And we intend to be right at the middle of that.